Hi guys, this is totally impromptu. I just kind of thought about picking up the camera and vlogging over the next couple of days, just because even though we have to stay at home and obviously can't really do anything too wild and wonderful, I have got a few things on. So tonight I've got my last cocktail class. So I've been making cocktails basically on Instagram, on IG Live. And so I've got my last one tonight. We're making grapefruit margaritas. James and I are hoping to go to the garden centre a little bit later today. And also that got us on to talking about our garden. And so it's been a while. So I thought I could take you outside and share with you like some of our thoughts and show you where we're thinking of doing some bits and pieces this summer. And then what else? Oh, it's Valentine's Day on Sunday. We've had snowy weather this last week. There's still a little bit around, but not a lot. But this time last year, we were away in Vermont in the US skiing, and we absolutely love it there. We go to a place called Stowe, and we're really missing it right now. So I'm actually going to reinvent our little trip, and I'm going to cook up a few things that we would have from some of our favorite places. So we are going to have some like Vermonty style beers on Sunday, and I'm going to cook up some like cheese fritters and a Cubano sandwich and all sorts. So I thought you might want to join me for that. And yeah, I thought I'd bring you along for the ride for the next few days. I'm just at Aldi now, and so now I'm going to test myself every week at the moment. I'm trying to do a shop in under £20, which James thinks is mental. It's like a weekly shop. I've so far got it down to £37, which is definitely an improvement on what we were doing last year. So yeah, let's see if I manage to do the challenge today. Wish me luck. I failed big time. I spent more than I have the last few weeks. I spent like £56 something, but we were missing a lot of condiments, and some of those we've been missing for a few weeks. I bought all of those. I fell at the first hurdle and bought a slightly more expensive bouquet of flowers. So I usually get one every few weeks because the Aldi ones actually last for ages. Like if you buy a bouquet of like carnations, they last, they're like £1.79 I think, and I mean mine have lasted, I mean they literally have only gone in the last couple of days, but I've had these for practically a month. So I need to get rid of those today. But I bought a nice bunch of flowers, which was $3.99. And then I also bought this as well, which is a knockoff of the Elizabeth Arden 8-hour cream, which I really like. And I've got really bad chapped lips and I've run out of a lip balm. So this was £4.99. So I'm gonna try this and see what I think. I don't really rate a lot of Aldi's like knockoff beauty stuff. Like I've used one of their moisturizer creams that's a bit like I think it's meant to be like a Nivea one, and I just found that I think it was causing me to break out quite a bit. I just find it fascinating that Aldi can basically completely copy the packaging as well, but whatever. Let's give this a whirl. I'll be interested to see if this is quite good, but yeah, I fell at the first hurdle, and it's really annoying actually because there's a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, look, it's exactly like, looks exactly like it. There's a lot of stuff that it's a more watery consistency, I would say. I haven't used the 8-hour cream in ages, but I remember always liking it. That's definitely a more liquidy, like it looks like it's quite firm. I always think like the Elizabeth Arden one's quite firm. This isn't. This is like a lot like it's a thinner consistency, and it's quite wet in a way. But if it helps, it helps. Yes, that was £4.99. Yeah, I was a bit annoyed because actually I didn't really need to buy a lot of stuff for this week because I'm trying to use some things that I've already got here as well. And I didn't buy any meat. So yeah, I need to go through my list and figure out what I spent on. I like these ones, these colours. They're a bit like your mermaid pot that we got. From the garden centre, so I thought I'd run through what we got there, a bit like a mini garden centre haul. First of all, we got these things. So we got some slug killer, just because our house is built on clay soil, so we get a lot of slugs. Then I also got this rooting powder, which was only £1.99, and basically I've learned to kind of propagate a few things last year. Really simple things like mint, which you can just do in water. There's a few things that you actually need like a rooting powder for, so you basically dip the root, or the bit that will eventually be the root, into the rooting powder, and then you pot it up. And basically we need to get rid of our jasmine that overhangs our door, very sadly, because we're having our house painted and we basically need to take it down. James also is a bit nervous about how it's planted into the ground right by our house, and he doesn't like the idea of that because it's grown quite big. So we want to try and propagate it so we can put it back, but in pots. And then we picked up some seeds because we want to try and grow a few more things. I'm terrible, I have to say, of growing things like tomatoes and what have you, and then basically not using them, like picking them and thinking I'm going to do something with them, and then they just go bad. So 2021, I have to turn over a new leaf. Back to here again. But these are the ones that we picked up today. So we've still got quite a few left over from last year, which are mostly things like herbs and some spring onions and cucumbers and stuff. But then we picked up these peppers. We basically tried to pick up things that we would normally buy in a supermarket, like on a week by week basis. So I got some peppers, I got some lettuce. This is like a, is it like a butter, is it butterhead? I forget what they're called. Yeah, butterhead. And apparently this is all year round, which is pretty cool. Radishes, which I actually don't like radishes. James was like, oh, let's get some radishes. And I was like, do you like radishes? And he was like, well, yeah, of course. Why would I have said it? I was like, I'm just checking because I actually don't like radishes. So I won't be having these. But we've got some carrots. James grew some chilies last year and they turned out amazing. So we've picked up some others. So we got this really fiery pepper, chili pepper. We thought these looked really good. I don't know if that's focusing very well, sorry guys. And we've got jalapenos, and we've also got padrones. We absolutely love doing like padrone peppers on the barbecue with a little bit of oil and a lot of salt. They are delicious. Then we also picked up, want to try and grow some potatoes. We still need to get like the potato bags to grow them in, but we got these. There were all these different types of like first early, second early, main crop, and we didn't really know what to do, but these are good. These are resistant to slugs and stuff, so I just picked those ones because of that. We've got some fat balls for the birds, because it's pretty cold out there, guys. We got some lawn stuff, evergreen complete 4-in-1. James loves this stuff for our lawn and it makes it kind of really green and stuff, I think. Oh no, this is something we just own. I think that was it. Just a little haul of bits and pieces that we kind of need. We wanted to get some like Hebes and stuff like that for around our new patio that we built last year, but actually there wasn't really a lot there, so we've held off on that for now. Plus it was blooming freezing. It's a bit dark now, but I will take you out tomorrow and show you around the garden and like talk through kind of like what some of our plans are and what we hope to do. I don't know how much of it will get done this year, but at least you'll get a bit of a vibe of kind of like what we're thinking. But yeah, it's getting on here, and I always do a test run of my cocktail before I actually make it on the live. So I'm gonna do that test run now and hope it goes well, and then I'm gonna set up my bar and get ready for my live. The sky is looking just so pretty. I actually think that orange is a reflection of the sky over here. We have still not moved into our bedroom, as you might have guessed. We need to order our bed, but we're just holding off a little bit longer just because we've just got so many outgoings at the moment. Okay, this is my little bar setup. So I've got my phone set up here for the actual IG live. I've got my lights, I've got all of my ingredients, which I'll share with you shortly in a second as well on the live, and my glasses and everything. And that's my little bar cupboard up there. It's got lots of drinks. I think I probably need to up the lights slightly in here. I like them to be dimly lit, a little bit at least. I feel a little bit buzzed. If I'm honest, I just feel a little bit buzzed. I had one as a test run. Feeling a little bit tipsy. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna set you up, hopefully on something. I've got my jazz music playing. I'm gonna set you up on something. I'm actually late for this, which is not great, is it, for my last one? I'm just kind of hoping that my camera doesn't fall off. the thing because yeah. Shit. This is not my finest hour. If I kick off with ingredients first, so as I said, we're making a pink grapefruit margarita for anybody that's kind of rolled in the door in the last few seconds. Doubling up to make a cocktail for me and James, so I will maybe give double measurements as well in case people are making more than one tonight. So for your pink grapefruit juice, for one person you need a double shot or approximately 50 milliliters of your pink grapefruit juice. I'm going to do 2 of these because I'm making for James as well. So if you're making for 2 people, then you want 100 milliliters or 2 double shots of your grapefruit. And then you want to take your tequila, and with your tequila, for one person, one cocktail, you need the other end of your measuring thing. You just want a single shot, so you want a single shot and a half, so 1.5 shots of tequila for one person, or 3 shots for 2 people. So, oh god, all of this is getting very confusing. Don't know what I've just put in there. Okay, brilliant. Okay, we're gonna definitely shouldn't have had a drink beforehand. Can anybody tell me how many times I threw my tequila in here? I don't know about anybody else, but I had too many drinks last week at this, and I left the hob on and went to bed, and I was just wasted. And then you want to cut your lime up, and you want to quarter your lime, and you're going to use one of your quarters to squeeze in to your drink. If you're doing this for 2 people, then you might want to use 2 quarters of lime. You're going to squeeze that in, so I'm going to use 2 quarters. Then you are going to take your Cointreau, which I'm hoping I've not added to my drink as of yet. This is not going well. And for this, you need, for one person, you need 3/4 of a shot, so approximately about 20 milliliters of Cointreau or your orange liqueur. I am going to obviously put double in, so about 1.5 shots for me. Bloody freezing. It is really cold, and I have to say, our heating comes on about 6 AM and it goes off about 8, and James and I, whilst obviously we've been at home, as are we all, when we come down, we try and like ride it out until about lunchtime usually, and then we whack the heating back on because it's just too cold here otherwise. We have this really weird thing which I'd never seen before in a house, and it really freaked me out when I first saw it. We've got suspended wood floors, so when you lift it up, there's just like this big crawl space underneath our house, and it's just dirt basically, and like obviously the foundations and stuff, and it just means that it's quite drafty. Like that is how the house breathes, so it's a good thing as well. But yeah, it can be a bit cool at times. I guess that's why they say that Victorian houses tend to be drafty. And yeah, I've been coming down at like literally just as the heating goes off, and it's been 15.5 degrees. So that heating has gone straight back on this week, I have to say. It's so cold. And then you're going to move on to your syrup, whatever syrup you're using. Now this is really to kind of taste and just basically make sure that it's not too sharp. So I'm going to put in about 1/2 bar spoon of simple syrup per drink. And if you're not using a bar spoon, then I would use perhaps like a teaspoon, and I would say it's perhaps about a teaspoon, like a 1/2 bar spoon is perhaps about 1 teaspoon of syrup. And then you can always add in a little bit more at the end if you feel like it's too sharp for you. Let's prep our glasses. So as I said, I'm using one of these glasses tonight, but you could use kind of a cocktail glass or a short glass of some kind. And I do want salt on the edge of mine. So you're going to take one of your lime quarters and you are going to just edge that around your glass. Morning, not good morning at all, good afternoon. I left you last night doing my little cocktail class. I don't actually know how much footage I got because when I finished up the camera was off, so either I ran out of battery or I ran out of storage space on my camera. So yeah, who knows how much is there, but it's Saturday now, and this morning I've just been editing my video that's going up tomorrow. It's like massively delayed by like 3 weeks. But yeah, so that's kind of like a video on like how to create the perfect cozy day, and that will be up on my channel now if you're watching this. But yeah, so that this morning, and we had some kind of like breakfast brunch kind of thing, and I need to now go and get James a Valentine's card from Marks and Spencer's. Essential shopping. Then I will take you outside and show you the bits and pieces I was talking about in the garden. We've also had our picture frames delivered today. So I have this beautiful Christmas tree picture that I've been wanting to put up for ages. It's going to go above the cast iron radiator here. I'll pop you round so you can see. And so James is going to put that up this afternoon, so I'm going to film doing that. I'm so excited. I'll flip you around so you can see where it's going to go. It also is covering a little floor in the wall as well. So it's going to go above the radiator here. So yeah, it's going to be perfect. So beautiful, and the colours really work in this room. This is one of the quirks I'm talking about, and one of the flaws. So one thing we've noticed from doing rooms like this one is that when we filled holes or kind of cracks in the wall, basically the like the texture is really different, and it leaves like this sheen, which is really irritating. So we've got a few actually. We've got a few up here as well, which the picture doesn't cover, unfortunately. Oh, you can't really see in that light now, but yeah, there. So I think James said he looked up a way to get rid of them, but yeah, it's just a bit irritating. And we've got some over here where we had some shelves. This room has a whole bunch of snagging to do, and these are some of like the issues as well. But yeah, just some of the issues. So actually the picture will cover this one. So quick and easy fix there. God, it's cold out here. Right, so where shall I start? Oh, actually, you've not seen this. So these are some of the colours that we're testing out for the outside painting of our house. The 4 at the bottom are Dulux, and then the top one is Stone Blue by Fair & Ball. That's the one we're leaning towards at the moment. We've got another 1 or 2 colours we want to check out, but yeah, that's what we're thinking. What do you guys reckon? I love it against the white. We're just slightly concerned it might be slightly too bold. We're not sure. Big decisions. Oh my god, I don't know if you can see this, there's like loads of icicles through our jasmine. This has to come off because obviously we're having the house painted, and James is concerned about it being against the wall and in the ground, so we might propagate it or get a new one and put it in a pot and maybe have it growing still over the doorway, because we quite like that it hides this pipe. Not the most attractive, and now we know why it's there. So yeah, so that's kind of the outside of the house, which I hadn't actually planned to talk you through, but seeing as we're here. And then changes that we've made. Oh, so we might do this patio this year in a similar stone to our patio over in the corner there. And James fit that, but we're just unsure. It's not a definite. Oh, actually the stone's here. It's not a definite, it's just a maybe. We do obviously want to do it, but it's just whether we do it this year or we wait. But yeah, and we'll fill in this spot over here just because we don't like that it's like soil right up practically against the wall, and we just worry about it letting in damp and stuff like that. And then this looks like it's really dirty, but it's actually because James has been doing some sawing out here this morning. But here, over here, there was loads of bushes, quite tall, that kind of made this path here, excuse the incinerator bin, as kind of a bit of a secret path. Obviously not so secret anymore. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, we had these big bushes here, and actually one of them died, or was dying, and we were contemplating about taking them out anyway, because they, every time you chop them back a little bit, they grow back again, and then we just never use this pathway. Obviously not using it right now either, but nonetheless. We found our drain, finally. So we've uncovered that, but we need to find something that's like movable that we can cover that with. And then here we have loads of bluebells that come up in the spring, but I've also planted up some like really lovely white tulips and some daffodils as well. So I quite like the kind of wild effect. Again, excuse the rubbish, we've got some stuff to sort out. This is a bay tree, which actually looks a little bit sad on some of these, but yeah. Then over here we actually had a little skinny tree as well, but it just kept on growing into the apple tree, and basically there used to be a pond here, and we took that out the first weekend, and now we're kind of in a situation where that tree just looked weird in the middle of the lawn, so we've taken it out. So underneath here we've got some wild garlic growing that's always been there, but I've added some more bulbs in there, and then along here we're not quite sure, but we're talking about getting maybe some other trees. James wants to replace this one, but I quite like it. I quite like the little berries and like the little white flowers on it. I made my wreath with some of that. And then over here, this is obviously the patio, it's packed away at the moment. These are like nicer arranged in the summer, but then around the edge is where we plan to do a lot of the work this summer. So we want to get Hebes that go along here and some lighting as well. This is a damson tree at the back here, and then we are planning to, we're thinking maybe putting trellis up one side and having grapes grow on it, because my granddad used to grow grapes and he was in the wine industry, so like I quite like the idea of that. And then maybe on the other one like a clematis or jasmine or something like that there. But yeah, I want something with flowers, and then I quite like the idea of grapes. And then here, we're not really too sure. I'd quite like some like small fruit trees that we can put up across the back here. And then I think we're going to make this border slightly shallower. And then I'm not sure, I think we're going to like pack them out perhaps with lots of flowers. I quite like the idea of like English country, like packed borders. And then this is a cold frame that we bought this year. So James actually already like potted up these, so those are going to be for some of our seeds, and also we'll grow stuff in here as well. Firework remnants. I want to do something with this old chimney thing as well. I want to plant something in there. This needs a repaint, so we inherited this with the house and we thought it would be a good idea to keep it for hopefully when James and I have a family. But I want to tidy up around here and maybe like put some gravel down, or like the little stones, and have like little pots of flowers around there, but that's like not this year probably. And then this, we created this, that's a wisteria, and that I planted, that's come from my house, and then I think that's a wisteria as well. And we've got a rose bush and lavender, and then we've got some other bulbs that I've planted up. But here I think this is the one I really want to pack out with like lots of different, like, are they called like fresh cut flowers? And then over here, oh, also this is pretty cool. So this is like an archway, and I've always wondered if that was like a war shelter in the garden, like the Anderson shelters back in the day. And I actually contacted somebody that lived here from like the early 1960s until her parents passed away in the late 80s, and they were the ones that owned it, and she said there was an Anderson shelter in the garden, so that must have been where it was. And then over here, this is a beautiful bush that's actually a very traditional Victorian bush, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's like from the hibiscus family, beautiful purple flowers. We need to take out this gunk here. I actually quite like the idea of maybe having a bench up again there, and maybe we pave that area there, I'm not sure. But that's like some of the ideas we're bashing around. I really want to keep this path because actually the woman that I just mentioned, her dad put this in, so I've kind of dated this now. It's not Victorian. I quite like the idea of keeping it in, and she said it would lead to, he had like a vegetable patch over in like this area of the garden, I think, and he used to like grow raspberries and stuff like that, so I've told James we now have to grow raspberries in honour. But yeah, that's where we're at. I think that's... Oh, how could I forget? Here, this is a decision we made last summer. We've not done it yet. We were thinking about putting an archway at the end of this here and having roses grow up. That, like climbing roses. I thought that would be pretty to come back into this area because this is kind of tucked away at the back of our garden. Kind of little hidden secret garden area. It's less secret now that we've taken a lot of stuff out and kind of cut back the fact that it was all overgrown. But yeah, that's it. I don't think there's anything else to update you on. There's kind of the things that James and I have been talking about for now. But yeah, we need to tidy up this area in general. I think we're gonna maybe, I mean, James is talking about maybe paving a little bit of, oh no, not that, because that's where the thing is, but I think we're going to move our barbecue like over here and stuff. Oh, another idea that we've had, probably not going to do next year, is we like the idea of having a butler's outside sink there for when we're doing stuff out here, but also it could be used as like an ice bucket when we have barbecues and like we're not in a pandemic. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to go back inside because it is freezing. Yeah, so that's some of our ideas. A lot of the things I mentioned we're talking about trying to do this year, but then there's like more intense things that like the bench and like patio and stuff that might not happen this year. But yeah, the one thing I would say that we're really conflicted with, or like I feel quite conflicted with, is that I think I'm like this a bit with like decorating our house as well, in that I literally like lots of different styles. I like lots of different looks. I love really contemporary stuff, but I love really kind of like Scandi stuff and vintage kind of antique looks and kind of very traditional looks and what have you. And I think sometimes my style is like a bit of a mix of all of that, and I kind of feel the same way about the garden. Like I really like the idea of it being like quite a country cottage garden, even though we're in the middle of the town, because it's so peaceful out there despite the fact we're in the middle of the town. And I think it lends itself to it because it's kind of a bit walled garden like, obviously with the walls separating us between us and our neighbours. But yeah, I don't know, I like the idea of that, but then I also can really appreciate like a really like beautifully perfectly landscaped kind of really modern garden that you might see on kind of like Pinterest for like a London townhouse. And actually the people behind us have done that to their garden and it does look epic, and I know that James really likes that look as well. But yeah, like my gut right now, obviously we can't afford to do that, so we're not going to do that right now, but my gut right now is that I would like to obviously keep it quite countrified. And yeah, I guess that means we could change it in the future and make it more modern, but I'm just not sure. I don't know what you guys think, or if like you have similar conflicts, but that's just kind of my conflicts, is that I never really quite know what I want, because I like so many different things and I can appreciate so many different things that I think I get like muddled with what I want or like my thoughts around it. So yeah, who knows. But I mean, right now we're obviously not going to landscape it because that's just not something we have the money to do, and we've got like bigger fish to fry as well in terms of where we want to spend our money. So who knows, but hopefully you've got a really good feel for that. I am going to make James and I a nice cup of tea. It's blooming freezing out there. Ta-da! It's up. Oh, James, that looks so good. Does look good. This is a Walton Blodgett? Yeah, Walton Blodgett. I got this from the Green Mountain Inn in Stowe, Vermont I think I must have been about 15 or 16 years old, so 20 years ago. Not long. $19.95 it's gone here. That wasn't right when I got it though. That was the year before I'd ever been there, but hey guys, so it's Sunday evening now. I've actually got in the oven at the moment the Kinder Bueno kind of cookie dough bars. So I'll share kind of where I found that recipe and also what they look like when they're done. And I'm now just making mine and James's dinner. So we're kicking off with these cheddar cheese like fritters, which I have to say I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. It's one of our favourite snacks that we have at a bar called Doc Pond's in Stowe, and they use kind of like Cabot cheddar. I've actually just mixed up like just a basic batter recipe that you can Google, which is just like flour, salt, baking powder, water and milk, and then I've added in pepper and paprika and a little bit of Tabasco sauce as well, and then I've grated up some cheddar cheese and also mixed that with a little bit of sour cream and black pepper and some more paprika, and I'm just now dunking them in there so that, sorry, excuse the mess, I've like done so much here, but so this is kind of what they're looking like. And then I'm going to shallow fry them, which kids don't do this at home, you're not really meant to do this in kind of pans like this, but it's all I've got, so we're rolling with it. I ruined my second batch. My first batch aren't looking too bad, but I guess we'll have to test them. So I'm going to take these 3 to James now. They're not perfect Doc Pond's cheese fritters, but I think they're a work in progress maybe for another time. Valentine's dinner was a semi-disaster. We had the cheddar cheese fritters, which were yummy, apart from obviously I ruined the second batch, although they still tasted great. And then we had like chips, like crisp, and salsa and sour cream and stuff. And then by the time I got round to doing the cubano sandwich, we were both so full and we both still really wanted dessert. So James had like a tiny bit of the sandwich. Yeah, I just couldn't eat it. So I didn't make mine. Well, actually I made both of them. I didn't actually then cook mine in the pan. I cooked a little bit for James, and then we had the dessert, which was epic. It's just not really how I expected the day to end. I've come up here. I'd usually change the bed sheets on a Sunday, but I just can't even bring myself to do it. It's like 9 o'clock now. I'll just change them tomorrow, but I'm just gonna say goodnight.